Introducing Chainmane, the bike chain Luxray. I'm Mr. Zoto, and today we're going to be making Luxray from the realm of chains. This is a very special project because it's been months in the making, and it came at request from our 100th subscriber to this channel. So I want to give you a huge thank you for this request. It was a great project to make, and let's go ahead and dig in and see how Luxray is made. Alrighty, let's start making our Luxray. So I already have a container here that has a whole bunch of bike chains from when I did my live stream design videos, which if you want to check those out, you can do so over on the channel. But I basically laid out the primary design to help streamline this process. I now have all of the main parts of it laid out, which in the bottom, you can see the main body, followed by the legs, and then the feet, the tail, and the sides of the head are all on that top row. So once they are all welded, we are going to take some single links here, lay them on top of the legs, and this is just going to give the Luxray a little bit of depth to the feet. Because there is some limitations with bike chains, this is sort of the best way I could kind of give him like some thicker paws. And then once we get into the final design, you'll get to see where he has the toes. So now we're going to be adding those small 3 links onto the side of the head. You can also see that I ended up removing the head from the body. I was playing around with it a little bit, and it just didn't quite fit with the neck how I wanted it to. So that was why I removed it. Now we're going to tack it back on in just a little bit of a different position. Got to make sure to tack all the sides so that head doesn't just randomly come off. So now we are going to be adding the legs on, and as you can see, I put some red marks there because Luxray just looked a little bit too scrawny with those legs, and so I added a 4 link onto each side just to sort of build out the front of that body and to get the legs in a better position. What I don't have on the table right now are all the single link chains that I'm going to be using to create the mane. And so this is part of the reason why I ended up building out the front of that body just a little bit more, is because once I start adding those in, it gives them a little more volume. And again, it spreads those legs out just a little bit more. So you can see there already, like if they were any closer, it would just be way, way too close. Now that we have the front legs on, we're going to do the same thing with the back legs. So we're going to add some big old haunches on here. Again, it's just a pretty standard square 4-link piece that we're adding onto the back side there, which is primary to help shape it. And this also kind of makes Luxray have that skinnier middle section, which goes along with the design. On the right there, you can see I actually decided to go with a similar design to the front legs for the back legs. The back leg design had something different, which you can see in the upper right hand corner, but those ended up just being a little bit too big, so we switched it. We are now going to be adding the tail on, which is that sort of star link with another chain which connects it to the body. So this is our hairless Luxray, which definitely does not look like a Luxray. But it's time to add the ears, add the hair, and it shapes up pretty quickly. But this is now our official hairless Luxray. The mane is going to be made up of a sort of variety of pieces. Right here we're sort of building out the base part of it, and I used some 5 links. That's just going to start to build out that initial volume. I added some single links here in the middle, and again, this is just building out the volume of the mane. And then we go back and we end up filling it in with a lot more of the flat links, single links, and some other pieces that'll give it its sort of final shape. You can see here that it is finally starting to shape up a little bit, and kind of even look like a Luxray, but it's still pretty far off from having its full form there. Adding in the flat links for the front. And now we are on to the haunches. Again, he does have a whole bunch of flare and hair coming off the back, so we got to make sure to include that. But you can tell from the front that it actually does kind of look like a Luxray now. And with that, those final pieces there, we are on to the cleanup process. With this, I just use a Dremel tool and a small bit to get in, clean up all the sort of thicker welds. There are definitely some areas in here that were hard to get clean welds. And so again, just kind of cleaning those up, making sure that there's no sharp edges and that when we get to the final paint process, everything is nice, clean, and smooth. So there we have our raw chain Luxray. And it is just about time to get onto the paint. So we're going to start out here with a black base coat, since majority of Luxray is black, and when it comes to painting, the black portions would have been harder to paint than the blue portions. So now we're going to be adding the blue for those back legs. I'll be added on to some front legs to the face. But these are basically all the highlighted areas. It was a little bit weird getting the belly since there were some other chains to kind of move around. And with it being a tight space, it was hard to get these chains painted without accidentally painting the chains that were supposed to be black. Gonna make sure that we get our underbelly there. It's the small details that count in these sculptures. Onto the face, getting the underside of the head and sort of like the bottom half of the head. When you take a deeper look at Luxray, really only like half of his head is actually blue. So it's the bottom half of the head and the inside of the ears. Scratch that. It's the full ears that are blue. The inside of the ears end up being yellow. Yep, so now that we have our blue ears and the rest of our blue paint, it is time to add all of our yellow accents, which again are going to be on the inside of the ears, some stripes on the front legs, and then the tail as well, that big old yellow star. And there we have it, our final painted Luxray or chain mane. Hope you enjoyed watching the process, and if you have any comments, leave them down below. Would love to hear what you think about the final design and how it was made. If you enjoyed watching Luxray come to life, and you like to smile like Totodile, make sure to hit that like below and tap that notification bell. Also, if you want to help us continue researching future Pokemon and making future sculptures, leave in the comments below what Pokemon you'd like to see next. Thank you again for your support on this channel, and see you next time. Signing off with a Totodile smile.